The Warzone Pacific update brought 3 major issues, and you won't notice the last one until it's too late. The Warzone Pacific update brought a bunch of changes, a bunch of new weapons, new operators, and a brand new map. But it didn't just bring things, it also removed things, and the effects can be disastrous. In this video, I'll be breaking down the 3 different reasons and tell you why they're bad and possibly how to fix them. The biggest change was the integration of all the Vanguard weapons, and we partially felt this when the Black Ops Cold War stuff got integrated as well. Basically, we're still using the Modern Warfare.exe, which means Modern Warfare has to get changed whenever anything gets integrated. And I personally got affected by this yesterday when I was trying to play a game with one of my friends, and we couldn't because his console just didn't allow him to launch the Modern Warfare multiplayer mode. I'm able to go on Modern Warfare fine on PC, although sometimes, whenever there's major changes, I've sometimes had to re-download part of it. And with the last 2 integrations, it was just better safe than sorry to just re-download the entirety of Warzone and Modern Warfare. But console players, who make up a large portion of the Call of Duty players, they can re-download it and it may not even work. And this is terrible, not being able to play a game that you paid for. So what needs to be fixed is Warzone needs to have its own .exe, because it makes no sense for all the changes to be affecting Modern Warfare. And I know for a lot of people, it's not very appealing to have to re-download 80 gigabytes or more in order to play a game you already had. But this small sacrifice could mean that in the future, our updates would be a lot smoother and things wouldn't be changing as much. So that's the first issue. Now for the second issue. With the integration, it brought a lot of guns, and many of you already know this, but it takes way too long to level them up. And not just that, your player level as well. Before the integration, I played about 6 hours of Vanguard multiplayer. I also played around 4 to 6 hours of zombies. But during the entire time, I only got up to level 50. And I'm just going to show you how high my guns are leveled. And just to let you know, I had leveled the STG-44 and the M1 Garand to their levels they're currently at before Vanguard even came out. After playing all this time, I have no idea why all my guns are leveled so low. And my score per minute is 615.8, so I'm not just sitting in the back camping. I'm actively playing the objective, getting streaks, and this is how I'm rewarded. And the best part is that during my entire leveling process, I always had a double XP weapon token and player level token activated. But now after the integration, in Warzone, I seem to be leveling up a lot better. And honestly, this makes me never want to touch Vanguard, which is the opposite of what they're trying to do. And I can't imagine players who are only able to play a few times per week for a few hours. They are never going to be able to level these weapons up. They need to cut the weapon XP required to get them to max in half. Because seriously, this is ridiculous. And for those people that like to chase metas, it's not going to go very well unless they went on a total grind to get every single weapon maxed out so that they can easily adjust to whatever comes next. But speaking of the meta, it's now time for the third and final change brought with the Vanguard integration. They removed practice matches. Before, under the normal game modes, there was private and practice matches, where you could try out the training modes for Battle Royale and Plunder, or you could just do a practice match for Battle Royale. In a few of these modes, you had the option to call a loadout box, which did have the ability to give you one of your loadouts. But more importantly, in the practice mode, you could fight bots, but the game treated it like an actual Battle Royale, which means we had access to weapon damage. So whenever we would test things, this is how we would do it. We would just drop in one of those, get our loadout within a minute, and fire, and find out how much damage a weapon was doing at a specific location. This is how I got my stats before, but now it's gone. This means the only people who are able to get stats are people who can have private matches, although I've been told that they're not always entirely accurate there since the game's not always up to date, or the people who go into normal Battle Royale and attempt to find an AFK player or just a situation where they can accurately test something. But this doesn't usually work very well because players are kinda smart, and the bots in that practice mode were not. They would let you shoot them for a while sometimes without moving. And this doesn't just apply to YouTubers. With practice matches before, we could bring weapons that we hadn't leveled up or had any attachments for and see if it was worth leveling up. But now, we just gotta take a YouTuber's word. Couple this with the issue of weapons taking extremely long to level up, this is really bad for the average player. In order to fix this, they need to put practice matches back in the game. I don't care if it's still the Modern Warfare practice match, but something needs to come up there so that we actually can test things on our own. Or just give us access to a firing range so that we can actually test things in a static environment. Because the most important thing about getting stats is repetition. You need to be able to do the same thing multiple times in a row and get the exact same result. If you do it again and again and you keep getting different results, something is changing. And unless you can figure out what it is, you can't really call that an accurate statistic. And that's why it's so hard right now, because unless you can bring a friend into a battle royale, a solos game specifically, it's not gonna happen. If I'm gonna be doing stat guides on Vanguard weapons in the future, it's only gonna be mobility and recoil, and maybe shots to kill. But those were the three biggest issues that came with the Vanguard integration. Have you felt the effects of them already? All of them? Just a few? Or have you only heard about them? But as always, if there's any weapon, build, or part of the game you want to break down, let me know. You may see it on the next Community Wednesday. And that's the video. If you enjoyed it or it's helped you in any way, let me know by leaving a like. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section down below. And if you want to make sure that you never miss another video, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.